What's up,
That was
man?
a great song right there, man.
Good job.
Thank you.
Now, I tell you, you said before last break, you were telling me you're living in Austin.
Yeah.
You can take that hat. That's a beautiful head of hair you got.
Well, thank you very much.
You got Ryan Braun type hair, doesn't he?
He does.
You know who Ryan Braun is?
Hey.
Ryan Braun, no.
Milwaukee Brewers, one of the MVP.
Oh, yeah. The guy, didn't something bad happen to
Steroid
him?
guy, though.
Yeah,
You don't want to be known as him as a person.
You know what? Those
But
guys, they can do what they want.
You have Ryan Braun hair, though, which is a compliment.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
It's
hair.
rock and roll hair. Now, what would you call what you do? What do you? Is it rock? Is it country? What is it?
Well, the hat makes it country, but I don't think that's country music that
No,
we've been
it's
playing
very.
tonight.
That last song was really just like a nice sound and smooth, like
Yeah.
just having a good time.
I think that might have been inspired by many years of listening to Tom Petty.
Petty.
Yeah.
You know,
Also.
some kind of
Yeah.
Mike Campbell thing happening, and you know, I like a lot of different kind of music, and when I make it, I want to, honor the great stuff that I love, and if I write a song, I want it to be in the form of one of these things. I don't want it to stay in a certain style.
They
You
don't
can
talk
get locked
about
in.
Petty enough, man. You don't hear about him. I mean, obviously he's a legendary guy, rich and famous. But I mean,
He could care less about the money. I tell you, that guy would be playing songs with no money.
Yeah, but I mean, well, it came though, obviously. But I'm saying you're right. He's a guy who's got integrity and just a great for a period of time there, man. I always said three things were definite. You got to die, pay taxes. And Tom Petty put out a great rock album every 2 years. He just did. It was just great.
When you go to a Tom Petty show, it's hit after hit after hit after hit.
I saw him. Yeah, I saw him once live.
40 hits or something.
Yeah,
The guy's amazing.
really cool.
This is a great looking album. I mean, the look of it, I really like it.
Why don't you marry it?
I will. But I read that
You can marry it.
this.
You can marry it for $15.
Yeah.
No, for free, really, because I was provided this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I will marry this for free.
Oh, no, come on, dude. Go buy one.
Fine.
No.
I'll download it too.
You can download it for
Illegal.
I'll give you yeah, I'm sure there's kids out there. They're doing all kinds of illegal stuff. out
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure. This guy's got a really bright son, too. This kid's building buildings. I know he knows how to steal stuff.
He probably does. Yeah, at 8.
We used to have to go really steal stuff when we wanted.
Yeah, now they're stealing virtual.
Yeah, it's weird. That's
property.
doesn't even feel bad when you
Could
do
you
it.
imagine if your kid gets a felony because he trying to get One Direction tickets?
Oh God!
It's just not worth it.
No, I mean, what would
We're
be
not there
worse?
yet.
Yeah.
What would be worse?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
I said if my buddy is doing my stand-up act, I said if my 15-year-old son came up to me and told me he liked the group 98 Degrees, I don't think I would ever stop punching him in the face.
Yeah.
But it's good to know you guys are out there.
Well, I read that you wrote this entire album in a snowstorm. You were snowed in New York. Is that
Well,
the case?
that album was written over different periods of time. I think that this record got started during a snowstorm. I had just returned from New Mexico, and I was in my apartment. It was the snow a couple years back.
Right.
And
I was gonna say I've written a couple of jokes in what we used to call the Mexican snowstorm.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
Those L.A. snowstorms.
Well, yeah, this was a real actual snowstorm.
Good.
I'm a big fan of tequila and mezcal, and I had a big bottle of mezcal with
Perfect.
me, and I got like 2 or 3 of those. So I think I wrote I Know Evil, during that
That's
period
cool,
of time.
yeah.
I wrote.
You'll know evil if you're drinking mezcal and tequila.
You don't know nothing, man. You think you know everything, though. It's
Right.
yeah,
You
it's
don't know
amazing.
anything.
You get a lot of
Do
confidence.
you use that like mind-altering stuff, booze, maybe a little weed? Do you think that helps the creative process?
When I was a kid, I smoked a bunch of weed. I can't really smoke weed anymore. I'm all for it. I think it's a great thing, and people should smoke a lot
Why
of weed.
can't you?
Everybody's
Paranoid? Why can't you?
I'm not productive. I'm not. I get
Good.
I get a lot of
Can't get done,
ideas,
right?
and nothing gets done. I can get shit done when I'm drinking tequila. Let me tell you what.
No, right, that's true. A lot of people coke is even worse. Like they have I go this way. People on cocaine, they'll tell you they're going to shoot a movie, and they're going to build this actual studio that they're going to shoot it in.
If that's the thing with the coke's the drug for people that want to talk about all the stuff that they'd like
gonna
to
do, right,
but they put it in context of this is what I'm doing or this is what I do. But none of that shit ever gets done.
Never
So
happens.
I like playing music. That's I like writing tunes and playing with my guys and recording songs and booze is fun. Everybody gets happy. Well, most of the time.
Most of the time, sometimes.
Depends. Like I said, everybody's got their drug.
Have you ever
Everybody's got their
had
thing.
big fights creatively with a band member or writing? Do you have writing partners that you get into fights with?
No. I write a lot by myself. There's a gal that sings on this record named Kat Edmondson, and we do some writing together, and she's just the cutest little thing. She's wonderful. She's an incredible singer, and we've got some nice stuff to. You can't fight with that.
No,
you just let it roll. You know, and you know, you enter that thing with somebody. You enter that sacred space with somebody that you have so much respect for that it never goes there. You know,
Right.
You don't write with some jerk. You know.
Well, that's true. I usually, although eventually maybe they turn out to be someone you hate, like Richards and Jagger and McCartney and Lennon.
I don't think those guys hate each other. I think it's an act. You
All
know?
right, well.
I mean, they're brothers.
Maybe
you know?
you're right.
I mean, you know, without each other, they would be. You know.
Well, they're brothers who banged each other's wives. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, you know, anybody bangs your wife, you're going to be a little upset about it, probably.
For a while, and I guess
until you get him back.
then it's rock and roll. Exactly.
Yeah, it's rock and roll.
So your dad was a musician too, and he wrote for "I Dream of Jeannie."
No kidding.
Yeah,
You mean
in
the music
60s.
stuff?
You
No,
know-
he wrote for the TV show.
Oh, cool. Jokes and stuff?
I Dream of Jeannie.
Well, he was on the
Bewitched, right?
production team.
That's awesome.
And he was beginning of his writing career in television, and then he went on to write a show called Ghost Story. He was he wrote that in the 70s.
Created it.
He wrote like 1 hour long, you know,
A pilot.
No, it was a show. It was a drama.
But he wrote the original pilot, or he wrote one series?
He wrote one series,
Oh, okay,
and he was
cool.
on that production team too. Then there was a writer's strike, and my sister was pregnant. They were pregnant with my sister, and
Right.
I was 4. You know, so they moved us to Austin, Texas, and he got a job at UT.
I remember that strike. There was a big strike in the 70s.
There was a
with
strike.
the writers, yeah. A lot
and
of
he
guys.
just got scared. You know, he didn't want to do it.
Well, you got kids. It's tough.
Yeah.
And he was
what
a
do you do?
musician at heart, I guess. And
He was a great musician, and I mean he was like 17, and he wrote this doo-wop hit, and it was like the first thing he ever recorded. It was a 45, and it blew up. He had a little fan club. He was on the cover of 16 magazine with Elvis and Dion, and his stage name was Ricky North. And then his mom was like, "Nah, you're gonna go to college." you
Oh,
know?
wow.
Pulled him out of all that, and he didn't seem to care or miss it or anything. It's just like everything he did in the beginning part of his life, like, was a hit. Everything went great. He
Did
worked,
it, succeeded, and move on.
Yeah, he
that
did.
type of thing.
Went to college, worked on the first Julia Child's cooking show, the first cooking
Wow,
show ever.
that's an eclectic career, man.
He's touching a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah, that's so. Now you say you went to work at the University of Texas. Then is that what happened?
He after Texas, we moved to Maryland. He got a job at University of Maryland.
Okay.
And I did high school and college in Maryland.
Teaching. That was he doing? Was he a professor or something?
He was a professor, and he stayed that way, writing books on screenwriting for his whole rest of his life.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
He was a finger picker, man. He used to do all the old country blues stuff, and he'd play it for me when I was a kid. And we would write songs and stuff, and I just, you know, that was my first like Godhead. You know, it was like this guy would come home from work and finger pick his acoustic guitar for me.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's your father.
Couldn't believe it was my dad. He was the greatest thing in the whole world.
I know. There's a lot of guys don't have that experience. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so is that where you went to high school, Maryland?
Maryland.
And then
State champs, high
so-
school football.
you played football.
Played football.
You decided to go on the road then, doing music.
The music thing was always happening, but it didn't really fully. I didn't feel like I could do that. I didn't know I could do it. I knew I liked it, but I didn't really see myself doing it because
It seems like a big jump. How the hell do I get a band to get on the road?
how do you do that? It's just you can't do it. And then one day in college, I might have been experimenting with LSD or some things like that. But I had the vision, you know, and I was like, man, I just need to do this. This is what I want.
Sure.
I feel best in life when I'm playing music and I'm listening to music and I'm writing and I'm playing with my guys. This is like the best feeling I have in the world.
Good
so
for
I
you,
just
man.
want to do that, you know.
It's such a unique thing, you know, to be able to latch on to something that might be artistic. Like I have that with comedy. Thank God I have that. Like it's a connection and going on the road and
They're
being
very
able to
similar.
Connect to an audience. Well, I'm so jealous of musicians, man. I wish I could do that, but the comedy thing is as close as I can get to doing
Oh
that.
man, well I grew up watching. I was a huge comedy fan.
Yeah.
I mean the Steve Martins all the way up. I mean I watched every little stand-up thing that was ever on TV, and I was watching all the specials and a huge comic.
But way
comedy
better.
fan.
Well, way. It's just a way better experience than just a normal life. You know what I mean? If you could music or comedy, some way to connect to a crowd. You know.
It keeps you young and keeps life interesting. It keeps you on your toes all the time.
Yeah,
You're in the moment a lot.
Right.
A lot of people fade out of the moment. you know, and kind of fall asleep a little bit. And there's no time for that. This shit is short, man. It's a beautiful gift. It happens and it's over. You
It
know?
does go quick, man.
Hey.
I'm 45. It does seem like 25 was literally a blink of an eye, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, you feel so young at that. How about you guys? How about the guys in the band? Are you ready to stay on the road, or you done with this, or?
How these guys? Dan, let me. Can I introduce?
Yeah, introduce the band.
There's the guitar player over here. This is Avi Bortnick. Avi's, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Avi and I, we've been friends a long time. When I lived in New York, we played in a band called Betty Black together, and Avi plays with John Schofield in the Uber Jam band.
Nice.
Yeah, a beautiful band. He writes a lot of that music for them, and Avi is a big inspiration and a great friend, and it's you know.
Good.
Avi Bortnick.
Good to know you, Avi.
And Sean Pelton on the drums.
Yeah.
You might know Sean from the Saturday Night Live band. He's a New Yorker.
Okay.
He plays on a lot.
The current band now?
He's been with them for 20-something years, right?
Yeah. 20 years. Yeah.
20 years plus, and he plays. You know, I turn on late night TV sometimes, or I see Sean back there with his hat, signature hat, and stuff.
What's the worst monologue you ever had to sit through? What's the most like worst?
Oh, man.
I don't want to get you fired.
There's been some wild ones. Pamela Anderson. Because I mean, it wasn't bad. I was just thinking that was an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
But no, there's been some rough ones.
Well, good to have you on here.
Yeah,
Sean. Thank you. And who's this guy? On the bass guitar.
This is Jeff Hill, and I would like to say Jeff has played with a lot of people. If you don't mind me giving your short resume.
Whatever you want to do.
Rufus Wainwright and Shooter Jennings most recently.
Waylon's son.
Yeah. And you know, we got to catch up a lot in Austin because those guys tour a lot in Texas. So we would catch up and hang, and he'd come over to my place and record a little bass on some demos and stuff. And when I come up here, we work on music together. So that Austin High tune was something that we collaborated on for a B or C, maybe D stoner movie. Cool. That some guys were making in Austin, and they wanted a theme song for this Austin High.
That's fun.
So we got together, and you know, we made a really cool demo. He played the drums on it, and we got the double vocal thing going, and we sort of found a different sound together. That was super fun, you know.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, you guys, listen, you sound great. How do we find you next? Where are you going next?
That's a good question. I spend a lot of time down in Terlingua in Big Bend, Marfa, Terlingua, and Lajitas. There's a nice little resort down there that I play, and they have an amphitheater, and I'm doing a show October 26th with Alejandro Escovedo.
Oh, great.
And
how do we find you on the social media and stuff?
JasonBlumMusic.com.
Jason Blum. What is it again?
Music.
JasonBlumMusic.com. All right, listen, we'll definitely look for you there, and keep it up, guys. You sound awesome. Thanks for coming. Come again sometime.
I'd love to.
Jason, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And again, the album, here it is Radio Dial. And check that out as soon as you can. Real quick, I want to say DraftKings, if you're into this, guys, is one-day fantasy sports. That's right. There's no commitment. You'll love one-day games. DraftKings is like celebrating kickoff every football season with a $1 million payout. You can play for free or a paid contest with real money. Pick your team in minutes. John, you're doing it right now, and he's having trouble.
I'm having trouble. I'm having fun having trouble.
But here's a true
It's the
story.
little choices I have
How's
to
this for
make.
inspiration? One guy won $100,000 his very first time. $100,000 day one. John's picking his team, and hopefully it's going to work out. This is a former NFL guy, and he's having fun.
Yeah.
Think of it. Play for free. Yeah, free to win real cash at DraftKings.com. Enter Artie, that's me, with your first pay game and get free entry into the $1 million kickoff bash. Seriously, free entry that could win you thousands just playing fantasy football. Use Artie, A-R-T-I-E, at DraftKings.com. 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 3 times we're out. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And safe travels. Back with Taylor Williamson on the Artie Lange Show after these words.